Tap water is full of contaminants that can only be removed by water distillation. Frank Mendez from waterdistillers.com joins us now to talk about what's in your tap water.
A lot of contaminants in your water you cannot see, but there are some contaminants that you can see, and those that you can see, you'll look at and evaluate that can't be healthy for you. So let me go to the things that you can see. And that's if you want to see how your water is or what the quality is of your water, then get yourself a nice clean pan, put your tap water in there and then boil it. Let it boil itself all the way down to the bottom and see what you'll see. It's amazing. You could possibly even see fluoride in there. You'll definitely see some minerals that are in there which are non-healthy for you. They could be iron. Again, you can't digest iron filings. You can digest spinach in the form of iron, or rust, or calcium, which is the white stuff that you clean up and gives you so much trouble when you on your dishes if you don't wipe them clean. So really, you can see what the problem is. We have some real simple tests that we can send you, and we'll be happy to provide these other tests for you at no additional charge. And in fact, beyond seeing, you can taste it. Think about that, and sometimes smell it. So these are the ways that you can simply test your water. When you first turn your water on at your sink, put your nose up next to the water at the very start of it, and you'll probably smell chlorine if it's treated by the city. Now, if you have a well and you drive from your well, it probably will stink. It'll have a small a stink to it because there could be sulfur or other things in your water supply. Well, that's not healthy for you. The hard contaminants that you see are not healthy for you. And if you want to go even a little bit further to test it on your own, I would suggest that you buy some distilled water, rinse your mouth out with distilled water quite thoroughly, several times, spit it on out, and then taste. Go to your tap and then put some water in there and drink that tap water. And you'll see that your body will not like it. And then drink the distilled water afterwards, and you'll see that there's a big taste difference. So these are just some of the simple things that you can do to test your own water. And then, of course, you can send it to the laboratories. It's quite expensive when you do that. The problem is that in the testing of those products, that most of those tests are predicated on things that are required to test on before World War II. So according to the standards, they're going to say it's okay, but maybe you have a lot of fluoride in there or arsenic in your water, and they'll mention it, but you won't necessarily know what the contaminant level is or what the healthy level is in those items.
I know you had those flasks with all the different compounds in them, and we showed that in another video too.
When you're done distilling the water, you're going to find out that there's still water left in here. You're going to wonder, why was that not distilled? Well, that wasn't distilled because what that water is intended to do is to hold the contaminants that are in suspension so that you can take them on out more readily. So now, what type of contaminants do we have in there? I should show you this because you're going to be stunned and surprised at what you've been drinking and taking into your body, which could very well be giving you all sorts of health issues because we don't know what those contaminants are. And this is an idea of just some of the contaminants that are in here. You may find some darker contaminants mixed with lighter ones as well in your water or on your heating element or inside of your boiling chamber on the sides of it. What that is conjecture, and you've been drinking it if you haven't been drinking distilled water. Also, this is another element that you can find through there, another contaminant that you can find in there, and as you take a look at this contaminant, if you were to touch it, you'd find out that it has a viscosity, almost like oil, and that this is another residue that's left on the bottom of your boiling chamber, and it's something that you're not consuming. That doesn't look healthy, and that's what you've been drinking if you haven't been drinking distilled water. Or possibly if you've been drinking filtered water, you're still taking these in. If you're drinking RO water will reduce this, but you'll still be taking these contaminants in. Distilled water eliminates them. And what a lot of you will be seeing as well on the inside of this is this. And this is what people are pouring. Put that in a picture because really it shows you what you're maybe giving your children, or maybe your daughter or son is giving it to their children, or anytime you take anything out of the faucet, you're going to find something like this or even worse in your water. Anyways, this is what you find in the distiller. Let me just pour this stuff out. This is calcium carbonate, mostly limestone or cement. It doesn't do very well when it gets in your arteries. It doesn't do very well when it gets in your heart. It makes you crusty.
What kind of conversations did you have with people about testing their tap water, like in the very beginning of the phase of working with people?
Really, it's the overall picture that you really want to take a look at. And then you can target what you have. For example, iron. If you have a lot of iron in your water, then you'd want to know that because you may need something special to deal with that. It's totally unhealthy for you to drink water with calcium carbonate or iron. And there's a lot of other things like arsenic in the water, which can be tested later on.
I know every city's different, right? But when you've tested water in the past, what have been some of the shockers to you that you've found?
Well, kind of interestingly, it's a great question. Not only is every city different, but within their own city, it changes all the time. People don't realize that. What does that mean? That means they tested their water at 9 o'clock in the morning and it was sick. Okay, yeah, they have to test the water twice a day at least. Some do it 3, but twice. Now you test it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it's just pristine. It's the best water according to the tests and according to the pre-19 World War II standards. It's the best. Of course, we know that it's still not the best. But my point is, still in the testing standards that they have, it was sick at 9 o'clock according to their standards, which are not very high. It was so healthy at 1 o'clock. So you got some pretty good water that day. I don't think so. If you drank it at 9 o'clock or between 9 and 1, you got some really sick water. So the point is, it changes within your own water supply system. It'll change within the city. It changes within your well, and it's always changing. So like I tell people, whatever was sick or causing problems or drugs or anything else, it just doesn't leave this earth. Little by little, it all ends up in your water supply.
One thing everyone agrees on is drinking plenty of good water for your health. But not just any water, definitely not your tap water.
But basically, if you drink distilled water, you don't even have to take the test because it eliminates it all. So someone says, give me a simple answer, Frank. The answer is, you don't have to test your water if you have a distiller and it's in your home. You're not going to worry about what's in it. But if you're worried about what's in it, then the only way you're going to eliminate that is to buy a water distiller or a point of use system. A water distillation is the only one that you're going to have great security and confidence in.
The water that comes out of our tap at home or at work is not necessarily safe.
Give us a call or email us. We'll send you a couple of simple tests that you can take a look at it to evaluate your water.
Well, the first step to getting better tap water is to actually go through a test of your current water situation. We'd like to offer you a free in-home water test that you do on your own. All you need to do is click the button on this page and we'll send you a free tap water test kit. With this test kit, you simply run the test strip under your tap water, let it dry for about 60 seconds, and then compare the colors on the strip with the chart that is provided. To get your free in-home tap water test kit, just click the button on this page.